Yes, still watching ways. The aim of World Youth Skills Day is to encourage youth to celebrate the value of acquiring skills like building, making and creating as a way to achieve personal success and fulfillment. Through empowering young people, they can better advance the broader mission of the United Nations for lasting peace, sustainable development, and human rights for all. According to the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, a UN resolution to establish a World Youth Skills Day was adopted by the General Assembly on December 18, 2014. If there was ever a day to celebrate, this is the one. Mm-hmm. I'll start from Noma because I know you're excited about this day.
I am super excited. In fact, on Saturday, I have an NGO that we've been partnering for close to, I think, 7-8 years now. It's called Yes, I Believe Academy. Mm-hmm. And what is their objective? They aim at empowering young people with different skills. So they get together people in different industries, makeup and shoemaking, different things to come and teach and to share the life lessons, like to be role models, so to speak, to these young ones, to say that you don't have to depend on others for your future. You can begin to cultivate a lifestyle that is going to be geared towards giving you the kind of future that you're looking for. If you could just begin to look within. Yeah. Sometimes life will not offer everything to you, but when you look within, you find out that there are resources that are there that are just waiting for you to tap into. Imagine a young person, if I knew certain skills, okay, like for myself, I started off at 18 to start having to go for the, what do they call it, trade fair.
Yeah.
I worked in trade fair with my twin sister for 2 years before I got into the university. Wow. And it was a little bit of exposure, making that little money for myself, knowing that I could actually do something. Yeah. Started triggering that entrepreneurship lifestyle, so to speak. So if young people know that these things are within them and they have the opportunity to learn things that begin to empower them in such a way that they don't become dependent and begin to do, if I may borrow the word, stupid stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just to be able to survive or to live the kind of life that they want to, then they are in a better place. And we have a better society. Because that way, the idle mind will not have opportunity to begin to explore opportunities that are not empowering, so to speak.
And it's the way we think about entrepreneurship. We took a story on Tuesday about a lady who said she was a graduate, but she couldn't find a job, so she had gone back home to fry Gary with her family. And she spoke of it almost from a condescending point of view, like, I'm a graduate. And I read an article that was talking about the fact that, we've created such a bias towards acquiring skills, like polytechnics and technical schools, and we've focused on universities and all of that. And these things, they create employees. But when you learn a skill, you are creating an employer of the future. So even just understanding today that we're celebrating young people and saying, you know what, go out there and get skills. You have to, when I was younger, my grandmother used to call it handwork.
Very true. Back in the days when we, before formal education, there was something they taught us in history of education. And they said that back then, education is supposed to be... What?
I'm just going to interrupt you there. Sorry. Let's be mindful of time so that we have enough time for our conversation. Absolutely. But let me jump straight to you with your story. What did you find for us?
Okay, my story goes thus that it resonates with me because it has to do a bit with what we have to talk about today, and it also has to do with mental health. So the story goes, Nigerian soldier kills girlfriend, threatens to commit suicide. Now, this is the story. Let me just give you a snippet from what the story is all about. A female university student in Bayelsa State, Nigeria's south, has been killed by her lover, a Nigerian soldier who is said to have suspected that she was cheating on him. Not marriage, girlfriend. Now, the 23-year-old student, Jennifer Ogadu, was a 200-level student in the Faculty of Education at the Niger Delta University, Wilberforce Island, before she was brutally shot dead by her boyfriend, who was identified by the police as James Mator. Now, this happened in Bayelsa State. Now, the key thing that resonates with me with this is because of his ego. He felt he had been cheated on by his girlfriend. She's not married to him, for Christ's sake.
Even if she was married to him.
No, I know, but I'm just looking at it from he has no right whatsoever, no ownership over this girl. And he just killed this girl for her parents for no reason. And she's still in her 20s, for Christ's sakes. And secondly, the way they actually discovered the girl is also questionable.
Very. That's the part of the story that sounded odd to me.
It's quite questionable because her friend, in quotes, said that she stumbled on a WhatsApp chat that in which the soldier admitted that he had killed this girl. So you didn't stumble on the chat with, your girlfriend, you didn't see it on your girlfriend's phone, but you stumbled on it on a chat. Where did you see the WhatsApp chat?
So nobody heard the gunshot? Nobody. Like, there are just too many things there.
Too many things are not adding up.
Yeah.
So and secondly, was there a correlation between the girlfriend and the soldier? So there are too many loopholes.
There are a lot of stories there, but you know how our stories are. They will keep unfolding.
Exactly.
And we'll keep hearing more.
Exactly.
Ifewa, what did you find for us?
Okay, there's a story, it's energy related, but I think it's something that we should really talk about. The headline is Major Oil Marketers Protest Restriction of Import Licenses to Refiners. So basically, okay, just a snippet of it. So the two major oil marketing associations have kicked against the restriction of petroleum import license to a limited number of refiners as spelled out by the proposed petroleum industry bill. So the two marketing unions said the decision of the proposed bill was against the principle of fair play for a major resource that the country largely depended on, noting that it was dangerous. Now, there's a part of the PIB in section 205 that removes price control on petroleum products, but then restricting importation of products to only players with local refining is more or less you're doing one on the other and then taking it the other way. So basically, if someone is just listening, sometime early in the year, the Dangote group proposed to the federal government that they should restrict licenses of oil products importation to only companies that have refining licenses.
And how many companies have that?
And how many companies have that? About 57, and only 28 are active. But that's not even the catch. The catch is, even for the ones that are refining, you have to be refining within a capacity to be able to import a certain volume. So for instance, if refinery that just opened up at 5,000 barrels, will not even be able to import.
Oh, wow.
So currently, as it stands, if the PIB is assented into law by the president today, only 2 entities will be able to import considerable
they've just created a monopoly.
Considerable volume of petroleum products, and that's the NNPC and the Dangote. And
of course, you've taken off the price restriction now, so whatever price those companies choose to set the price at,
that's what dictates the
so
price.
and I think it's something that, because this particular thing, before it was passed by the Senate, it was already raised. People already raised concerns. So we don't have to wait until it's been passed into law before people start to raise alarm and it's harder to reverse. Yes, but it doesn't look good for, creating a duopoly. Just 2 entities are able to import considerable sums.
Well, we'll watch the story and see how it. I've been watching the PIB story closely, all the different things, Niger Delta. There's so much going on there, so let's see how it plays out. I'll quickly take my story. So my headline says FG awards 5 road contracts worth 309.9 billion to Dangote Group as tax credit.
Oh my God, I didn't know we're going to
have... when you said, I was like, yeah, we're going somewhere. So the story here speaks to the fact that the Federal Executive Council has approved the award of the contracts to Dangote Industries. The 5 projects span a total length of 274.9 kilometers. Majority of the roads... where's the list now? So I think you have the Bama to Banki in Borno State for 51.02 billion. The Dikwa to Gambari and Gala for 49.15 kilometers, 49.58 in Borno State. Then the Nnamdi Azikiwe Road, popularly known as the Western Bypass in Kaduna, from Command Junction to Kawu for the sum of 37.56 billion, and then there's one in the Seaport Access sections 1 and 3 in Lagos State. So I believe that's on the Ekpe side of Lagos State. So essentially just speaking to all these road contracts. Now, I had mixed feelings when I saw this, because it feels like in everything and everywhere in Nigeria you hear Dangote. It's not a bad thing, you know, but it almost feels like surely there are other entrepreneurs out there. So you hear all these claims where they say, oh, it's who you know, it's all the, you know, the history of his family and all of that. But first things first, it's an innovative way for us to deal with our infrastructure issues, to give companies, you know, private sector, PPP for me has always been the way forward. So to give companies that can actually afford to do it, will actually give them, and then they are incentivized because you're giving them tax breaks. Now making sure that we can actually hold them accountable. I think it's easier to hold a company accountable than it is to hold the government, to hold the federal ministry and say, you know what, Ibadan Expressway has been taking forever. I think it's easier to hold a company accountable, but this is Nigeria, so let's not hold on too much to that. But it's an innovative way to get our infrastructure issues being done. But I would like to start to hear the names of other companies aside from the Dangote group. But let's wait and see.
Let's see how it unfolds.
Exactly, let's see how it unfolds. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll jump into the topic once we get back. Stay with us.